Hello everyone, Revolver Guy, perfect for poor people. Just thought I'd do a little video today. Been out working on my garden just a little bit. I had to run go to a doctor's appointment, so that kind of killed part of my day. And got back just doing a little weeding. I'm getting ready to haul in some more mulch and hopefully get the rest of it covered up here in the next few days. And been fighting off these Colorado potato beetles. They'll wreak havoc on your potatoes, and they'll even get cucumbers and other things too sometimes. So I sprayed some neem oil, and it seemed to help. I'll try to make a video this weekend and show you some of the damage they can do. Just a couple of plants they really hurt, but for the most part, the plants are okay. And it's just something that happens every year, at least around here. It's just something you have to deal with. And I like to use neem oil because it's all organic. It's not a pesticide. It's just the oil from a neem tree. I believe somewhere in Asia is where they get it from. Uh, and sometimes I have to use a little bit of pesticide on it if it's really bad and I just can't get rid of them. I don't really like to do that, but I do if I have to. Unfortunately, these bugs and insects and things, they've all developed immunity to a lot of stuff these days because we have used it so much. And especially in this country, we've just sprayed things that we don't want around, and insects have been here for years, for thousands and thousands of years, and they know how to how to get around that stuff and how to survive. Kind of like the cockroaches have been here since the beginning of time. So anyway, what I want to talk about today was the Democrat Party, or as I like to call it, the Communist Socialist Democrat Party. Not so much the politics of it. I mean, there is a lot of politics in it, of course. I just look at things and how it's going. And when I say the Democrat Party, I don't just mean the Democrats. There's some good Democrats and there's plenty of bad ones. It's the same way with the Republicans. I mean, most of them are just old rhinos that are right in with the Democrats as far as a globalist system goes, and they could really care less about this country. What they're after is power and money, and I think that's the biggest problem with our political system these days. Is that's all we have in there. That's all we seem to vote for, and people with money have the advantage, of course, of running for these offices. I mean, it takes a lot of money to become the president or even become a congressman. So with all the things going on there and all the dirty politics, and the people are pretty much just left with nothing. Very little recourse. If we could ever get together and vote these clowns out, we'd be a whole lot better off. I don't know how we'll ever do that, especially nowadays with this media and all the propaganda coming out of both media, but Fox News and CNN. It's just all propaganda, and it just keeps the country divided. It keeps the people divided, and the chances of us ever coming out of that is pretty much slim to none, I'm afraid. I do think there's going to be a lot of civil strife, and these other countries, Russia and China, and especially them two, and with the help of some of the smaller countries like Iran, North Korea, they know that they can't defeat us directly. So their goal, which Russia has said this, I think back in the 60s, they will defeat America from within. And they've just about got us. The moral decline of Western civilization is just, it's more evident now than it ever has been in history. And you can see it with these political parties and the dirty deeds they do. And the Bushes and Clintons, two most powerful families in this country, and here you have Donald Trump come in and basically make a mockery out of those two, and he did. And that's why the media hates him so bad. And the Democrats and the Republicans, especially the Bushes and Clintons, they absolutely despise Donald Trump. I mean, he made Jeb Bush look like a total fool during that Republican primary. And, you know, Jeb Bush's own mama even basically said it made her health decline. It bothered her so bad. You know, I mean, Jeb Bush is just a weak-kneed pansy. I mean, that's all he is. All he ever was. And I think he thought he was going to roll right in there and get that Republican nomination. And Trump said no, it's not happening. You know, Trump is without a doubt an outsider. Now, I'm not going to sit here and toot his horn and say he's the greatest president or anything like that, because there's a lot of things that I'm not sure about with Trump. But I'll tell you one thing, he isn't one of them. And I love that fact. And that's exactly why he got elected. So then you had the Clintons, you know, Hillary, she absolutely despises Trump too, and everything he did, you know, and I mean, Trump's funny. I mean, I laugh at him. I think it's funny when he puts these people down, because they're just so used to having anything they want and having things any way they want them to be. They couldn't stand it when this arrogant, pompous billionaire come rolling in and stole what they thought was theirs. You know, and you know, and so now you have the Democrats and the rhino, dirty rat Republicans, and they're undermining everything Trump does, everything he's trying to do. And most of what he's trying to do is for the people. Whether you like him or not, if you are going to sit here and tell me that Trump is not doing a lot of good things for the people, or at least trying to, then I know you've already been bought and paid for by the media. You've fallen into their little trap. You know, they've got you believing everything they say about him. I mean, I have yet to turn on CNN, NBC, any of them, and see one story, one news story about Trump and anything he's done good. Even if it's something he's done that's a good thing, they've twisted it. And they twist it every single time. Okay, sorry folks, I had my wife at the door telling me supper was almost ready. So, the media and the Democrats and a lot of the Republicans are twisting everything. And no matter what Trump does, he's going to be in the wrong. And he's really, he knows this, and Trump is smart. Don't think he's not. Just because he's not as well spoken as Barack Obama or as well connected as George Bush in the political realm, don't think he doesn't know what he's doing. He's really surprised me so many times. And you know, this whole Julian Assange thing, they're now getting ready to bring him over to the United States. They want to extradite him from England. I think he got like a 11-month sentence over there for whatever it was, and now that they're going to bring him here. And I truly believe that they're bringing him here for a reason, and that's to spill the beans on all the dirty little secrets that Washington has. And they absolutely despise him. And he has got some stuff. I really do believe it. You know, he obviously wouldn't tell everything he knows until the time is right. So there's some information that comes out every so often from this QAnon. You know, a lot of people think it's just bull and it doesn't really mean anything. I don't know, but the guy he tells a lot of information. He has to be connected inside somewhere in the White House, because he has a lot of information and a lot of stuff he says is true. And he said that he had predicted that Julian Assange would be here sometime in June. And he said that he called Julian Assange the source and said he has a lot of information. And so I really believe that. You know, he does, and I hope that he comes and he brings this whole corrupt system down on their heads. I really do. A lot of people fear it'll be bad for our country. I don't care what it does to our country. If our country's this dirty, it doesn't deserve to even be in existence. If we the people can't stop this and don't stand up to stop it, we don't deserve to have this country anymore. All the dirty deeds that have been done, and all the stuff, all using our military to pad the elites' pockets and to push their will all around the world. I mean, all that needs to stop. There's no wonder why other countries hate us so bad. It's not the people, it's the government. But we've elected this government, and we've allowed this to go on. So at some point, we're going to have to put a stop to it. We're going to have to stand up and say enough is enough. I was watching a YouTube video of Kim Clement. He was a guy. He died back in 2016, but he made a lot of videos over the years, and the guy was just unbelievably connected to God. I mean, he prayed to God, and he spoke to Him all the time, and he really had a lot of information. That's kind of funny how it come out. Back in 14 or 15, he was talking about how Trump would be elected and how they would scream impeach, 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 impeach. But he wouldn't be impeached, is what this man said. And during the talk, he said Stone. He said, remember that name, Stone. And it's funny how, here not too long ago, Roger Stone got arrested. And the last thing I seen on Roger Stone, he told him, he come out and did an interview. He has a gag order. He can't talk about the case, but he said that his trial will be in November, and his trial will be epic. So I'm really, really interested in what's going to go on there. You can expect the Democrats, especially in the Rhino Republicans, in the media, to just keep ramping up their attacks on Trump. It's going to keep getting more and more and more. What I'm worried about is some type of diversion to take our eyes off of what's really going on. William Barr, the U.S. Attorney General, is going to hand down some indictments when all this is said and done. And you've already got a lot of Democrats playing the blame game, point fingers at each other. And I really think something might happen between now and then. Because the Democrat Party, probably the dirtiest organization on earth, which the Republican Party's right with them too. I'm not going to say them debate which one's better, which one's worse, because they're both terrible. But this party's not going away. You can see it with the way they do things, the way they deal with things. I mean, they've got the people so ramped up that if you walk into a restaurant with a red mega hat on, these people will lose it. I mean, they've got these people believing so deeply, so strongly that Trump is evil and Trump is a racist and Trump wants to bring down everybody. It's just, there's no way to get it back. I'll tell you that. There is no way. When you see these people out in force protesting against the laws that Alabama and Missouri and some of these other states are passing to limit abortions, and these people are out there just protesting, they are absolutely out of their minds over it. They want the right to be able to kill their child. And I don't care what you are, where you're from, abortion is killing a child. The people in this country have been coddled and babied and allowed to get out of their responsibility for almost everything. And now, I know there's cases of rape and incest and things like that. We're talking about 0.01% of all abortions are because of that. Almost all abortions, I'm talking over 99%, are just because somebody doesn't want to be responsible for their actions. People in this country, they don't really want to work anymore. I mean, they're lazy, they're coddled, and I mean, the Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. But there's an awful lot of people living off the system. And in the meantime, the Democrats are just absolutely overloading the southern border. And, I mean, both parties, they're allowing thousands and thousands of immigrants a day to flow over our border, illegally. And we're going to end up having to pay for these people. But the real scary thing is who's coming over. Some of them might just be good people that need a new start. But if 1% of those people are terrorists, cartel, whatever, if just 1%, you're talking about well over 1 million people in a year. We've already had, I think last number I saw was 365,000 come over the border this year. We're looking at, if just 1% of those people are terrorists, we're talking about 10,000 terrorists. Not to mention the ones that are already here. I mean, they just found a terror camp in Alabama, and Comey, back in 2016, he said that there were terrorist cells in every state in the union, all 50 states. It's almost like these politicians want this country to fail. Economically, we're on the brink. We've let hundreds of thousands of people in this country that we have no idea who they are or what they're about. They're coming in with diseases, and I mean, you talk about put us in danger. It's funny how every president, I remember every president saying we've got to do something about the border. I remember Bill Clinton saying it. I remember George Bush and Obama, all three, saying that we need to secure our border. There were bills passed to do it, and it was never done. But Trump comes in and wants to do it, and he's a racist. And, it's just ridiculous. The games that these politicians play to divide us, and, and I mean, it's working. It's worked. This country's divided, and there really probably is no way to ever get back together. All we can do is prep, pray, and be ready. Beans, bullets, and Band-Aids, folks. That's what we got to do. That's why I prep all the time. I really fear for how this country's going to be for my children. I don't know how much longer it's going to be, but I just can't see it being that much longer. This election in 2020 is going to be absolutely unbelievable. Who knows what's coming down, but nothing will surprise me. But anyway, I'll end this video. It's getting pretty long. I just want to talk about that. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to have some discussion on this. And tell me what you think. Like I said, try to do something every day. Try to grow some food. Try to store some food. Water. Make sure you got plenty of water and a way to filter it if you need to. And make sure you're armed up and ready to go. And you need to train. You need to practice. You need to get out there and use your firearms and be ready. Well, thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you would. And remember, all gun laws are unconstitutional.